Women's Rally Scholarship, who led the points table after the Canterbury Rally, but his biggest challenge would come from Group N leader Greg Graham, who was second at Canterbury. As the Southland mist shrouded the landscape, McAndrew opened the rally, aware that he would have to pace himself to last the 2 days.
It's just an endurance event for us, and we've got to get through it, and that'll show us our potential for the international.
Brian Stokes was back to try and gain championship points after crashing out of the Canterbury Rally, and was looking forward to the event.
The selection of roads, I think they've got a good public county roads, and there's a couple of forests in there, and you know, it looks like a real good track to me.
Does that suit the Escort?
Oh, I think so. I hope so. You know, we're on a constant road of development with the car, and you know, we're working through it and just see how we get on.
The rally route followed roads to the west of Invercargill, starting and finishing with forestry tracks. McAndrew, first on the road, was finding all the traps. The spin on stage 3 costing 20 seconds. Brian Stokes also spun, but had recovered to lead the rally for the first 3 stages. McAndrew had to put the boot down to catch him and nearly finished his rally on this jump. Stage 4 started on public roads but diverted onto the narrow, slippery forest tracks, and it was here that Stokes lost time to McAndrew.
The road was quite narrow and it was really slippery, and it was hard to commit yourself because, you know, quite scary on that slippery stuff.
I think you can stay in touch with Joe, and you feel any pressure from Greg and stop him?
Oh, well, we're just doing our own thing, you know. I don't even know what the times are, and I don't want to know, actually. We just want to get through the day and see how we get on.
McAndrew, running on new Michelins, was still having difficulty keeping the big, powerful Legacy on the road.
Marks for me to follow, and it's really hard to pick what the traction's going to be like, and yeah, we sort of don't want to overcook it, you know.
However, that proved to be Joe's undoing, an apparently fast left-hander proving to be the unlucky spot. In Group N, Greg Graham again looked the fastest, but this time he had Rhys Jones's Lancer with him. Their battle would mirror the 2 leaders. Andrew Grant was taking a more cautious line for this rally after an expensive crash the previous week in Northland. And posting similar times to the Group N leaders was the older Group A Legacy of Barry Sexton and Stuart Lewis. Chris Joblin was trying to drive clear of this group, realising that improvements with the car's transmission had given them greater speed.
Yeah, we're not going to stay there. We lost about 20-25 seconds of them when we spun, and we pulled one back. That's Rhys. We're still, I think, 18 seconds behind Greg Graham, but in a public road stage I think we can beat him okay. So in the forestry it's pretty even, but long way to go.
We're ahead in Group M, but she's no means secure, you know. Long way to go. We've got tomorrow morning and rest of today, so no, I think I'll just keep going at this pace.
The 1993 Group N champion Brian Watkin still had teething problems with his new Subaru. This time, suspension changes had upset the car's handling. Paddy Davidson was leading the run for the North Island Rothmans Challenge. He had to be the first challenger home to be in with a chance. The South Island Challenge had already been won by Stu Warren. He was racing here to keep up his defence of the Mainland Series. And the biggest improvement was coming from Dave Ayling, who had fitted Group A diffs and a 7-speed gearbox to his Escort. In the Group A 2-litre class, Dean Bond's Giant Killer Charade was leading the Subaru Vivio of Vanessa Slee. And Dean Buist had a comfortable lead in Formula 2. Servicing after stage 6 was routine for the Stokes team, with the car looking fit to finish the event. Barry Sexton was happy to be in the top 5 at last.
We took a little bit cautiously this morning just to see how the car handled, and it seems to be going quite nicely now, so it's time to make a bit of a move.
Is this the first time we've really seen you on the pace this season?
Other than Maramarua, yeah, we had quite a few problems with Canterbury, so it's good to be having a reasonable sort of run at the moment.
And coming up after the break, we followed the cars through the remaining stages of day 1 as the rally heads east of, and as Barry Sexton pushes on, the team begin to suspect that the Legacy has a centre diff problem, but by changing his driving style, he can maintain the pace. Joblin is the charger, second to Stokes here, and now second overall. Brian Watkins still hasn't found the pace of Greg Graham, but is in the top 10. Greg Graham has had a faultless run and has responded well to the challenge from Rhys Jones and Chris Joblin. It's a positive sign for the team in 1994. Now this is a brief respite from the rally as we dig the 3-sport wagon out of a ditch. But next on the scene, Rhys Jones has kept up with Greg after losing the Group N lead earlier in the day. Paddy Davidson still leads the Rothmans Rally Challenge. Closest rival Jeff Argyle had a disastrous start to the day, losing time when a wheel came off. And Roger Mackay leads the locals in his ex-Stu Warren Corolla. He would finish the rally in 15th place. Vanessa Slee had inherited the Group A 2-litre lead after Dean Bond's Charade stopped with a broken gearbox. But the little Vivio was sounding a bit sick as well. By the end of the day, Stokes still had a comfortable lead, but along the way, Joblin and Davidson were both out with engine problems. Problems too for Brian Watkin, who'd been off the road and had to replace both front brakes. Rhys Jones had pulled back the Group N lead, now having an 8-second lead over Graham. Now last year, losing the lead may have forced Graham into a mistake, but in 94, this team has learnt that winning is all about getting to the finish. With Davidson out, Jeff Argyle was assured of a win in the Rothmans Rally Challenge. Andrew Grant found a lucky soft spot on the corner. And Stu Warren was driving tactfully to keep in the top 10 and stay in touch with the Mainland Series. Vanessa Slee's engine problems had worsened, the car only running on 2 cylinders and no sign of a solution.
You guys, trust me.
We've basically had problems most of the day. We had a few handling problems this morning and sorted them out. I think we've had one really good stage, and the rest of them we've just had electrical problems whereby the car's just not getting full power, and it's actually dropping a cylinder because it's not getting full power. So it's we just haven't been able to find it, and it's been really frustrating.
So at the end of day one, it was Stokes, Jones and Graham. Day two would start to the north of Invercargill, finishing on the fast, slippery Pebbly Hill stage. Stokes' relaxed attitude to his lead had given him a comfortable gap over the field. It was important for him to finish now and take maximum points. In the Rothmans Rally Scholarship, Jason Gardner had driven sensibly to be 11th overall ahead of the competition. His performance helped by having Mike Fletcher in the co-driver's seat. Fletcher is one of New Zealand's most experienced, having guided Possum Bourne through the Kenyan Safari Rally in the 80s.
And up there. Okay, no, 4 Ks to go, no more instructions.
But if Jason went off today, Escort BDA driver Brent Buist was right there to take the prize. Mike Turfus was 5th in Group N, driving faster now that he wears glasses. Greg Graham came out fast on day two, taking time off Jones on every stage as he fought back to 2nd place. And Brian Watkin had also improved, taking the car and co-driver Samantha Haldane to 5th place. Rhys Jones was still trying hard, but just couldn't match the pace of Graham. His Group N lead was gone by stage 14. Andrew Grant would be happy to finish, having survived his first 2-day event. But for Dave Ayling, the day was about to turn disastrous. The engine is missing badly, and at the stage end, the car erupts into a fireball.
So I thought, right, I'll just push it across the line. Yeah. So we just push it away, and then it's bang. I'll leave it bang. Flames in the front. Yeah. You go do that. You start. Okay.
Sort of halfway through the stage, it was really bad. So I thought it was fuel or I said to Graham it was electrical. And then it just stopped completely. So we killed everything. That was about on the 200 metre board. And we thought, well, push it over the line, you see. And we pushed about 20 yards and it just went bang, like a big bomb.
The fire has melted the computer and electronics. Ayling puts the damage to around about $10,000 to get the car ready for next month's Rothmans Rally of New Zealand. Stokes hung on to a dying clutch to finish first, with Greg Graham in 2nd and Rhys Jones 3rd. That puts Graham into the lead in the 3-Sport National Rally Championship, with Barry Sexton and Andrew Grant tied. The Rally of Southland was their last chance to win, and tonight we take a look at their battle, which would finish with 3 drivers taking away over $30,000 in prize money. With the rally being a 2-day event, most crews had spent the 2 weeks since Canterbury working to maintain the reliability of the cars. Joe McAndrew's pro-drive legacy would lead the field. Brian Stokes was in Southland after a disappointing Canterbury rally, but hoping the trip south would reward he and co-driver Jeff Judd with valuable championship points. The Group N contenders, led by Greg Graham, stand the best chance of pressurising McAndrew for the championship lead. But for competitors in the Rothmans Rally Challenge and Scholarship, Invercargill was their last chance to gain points. The only certainty was in the South Island Rothmans Rally Challenge. Mainland champion Stu Warren and co-driver Gary Cowan had taken their Toyota Celica to an unbeatable position after Canterbury. But Warren needed to do well here to keep in contact with Greg Graham in the Mainland Series. He could still take points away from the North Island competitors in the challenge, as despite there being 2 awards, there is only 1 point system. And that could prove crucial for Apotiki Subaru driver Paddy Davidson. He had finished the Canterbury Rally with 66 points over Jeff Argyle's 60. But Argyle had competed in the Northern Rally after Canterbury and was now back in the lead. If Davidson could be first challenger home and Argyle finished third or worse, then the Subaru driver would take the prize. And finally, the Rothmans Rally Scholarship, which awards a $10,000 supported entry into the Rothmans Rally of New Zealand to young competitors with no experience in the international rally. Jonathan Hunt, Jason Gardner and Brent Buist had a chance to take the prize. Buist in his BDA Escort was sentimental favourite with the spectators. His sweet-sounding car has a successful history in mainland rallying. But to compete in the Rothmans Rally, he would borrow brother Dean's Formula 2 Corolla 1600. However, he had to hope that the two other competitors wouldn't finish the rally if he was to take the prize. Stokes and McAndrew immediately set the pace in the misty conditions. Not surprisingly, it was Paddy Davidson who led the Rothmans field. He was 18 seconds faster than Argyle, who in turn was 9 seconds clear of Warren. Stage 2 looked like more of the same, until Argyle loses a wheel and drops 4.5 minutes of valuable time, putting him back into 52nd place in the rally. Stage 2 also saw drama in the Rothmans Rally Scholarship, with Jonathan Hunt rolling out of the rally. Jason Gardner inherited the lead, with Buist sitting back and hoping that he might soon pass Gardner. But Gardner is improving with every rally and benefiting from having Mike Fletcher in the co-driver's seat. Stage 4 started on fast-flowing public roads. Argyle was trying to put his disappointment aside. There was a lot of the rally to go, and he still had a good chance of winning if he could finish. And the pressure showed on Davidson. Meanwhile, Jason Gardner backed off. Buist beat him by 2 minutes, despite the Escort developing a problem with third gear. 4 stages gone, and already the Rothmans Rally Challenge and Scholarship competitors are out of the reach of the top group of cars. This is the main reason for this competition, as it creates races within races and gives these competitors a realistic goal. But it also puts pressure on the top 6 competitors who can't afford to drop the pace, knowing that they could lose their place. In fact, the pressure was on those competitors with the closest racing yet seen this season. Brian Stokes had led McAndrew for the first 3 stages, with McAndrew spinning on stage 2. But on stage 4, McAndrew wrestled his legacy back into the lead. Stokes, using second-hand tyres, was always slower in the slippery stages. But the legacy was left parked in stage 5 after another spin left it belly-flopped on a bank. Behind the leaders, Greg Graham and Rhys Jones were swapping the Group N lead as they battled with the Group A cars of Barry Sexton's Subaru and Chris Joblin's Lancer. Joblin had a slow start, but by stage 3, he was trying hard to catch Stokes and break free of the Group N cars. With the rally now moving to the east of Invercargill for some more public road stages, Jeff Argyle began to drive back into contention for the Rothmans Rally Challenge. Paddy Davidson was still in the class lead as the cars were prepared for nightfall. But on stage 10, his run ended with a blown turbo, handing Argyle the win. In the Rothmans Rally Scholarship, Jason Gardner was still on the road. The Buist team had changed the gearbox twice, but was still going in the hope that Gardner might go off. However, a steady drive throughout Sunday took Gardner to finish in 10th place to take the scholarship for 1994. Motorsport New Zealand President Maury Chandler was on hand to present the cheque at the prize giving. Brian Stokes outpaced his competitors to win the Rally of Southland overall. Greg Graham posted another 2nd place and leads the championship. It was an action-packed rally over 2 days. And for more extensive highlights, make sure you catch the Makina Sports Machine tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock on 3.